So I usually make fairly lighthearted videos. You know, they're fairly upbeat, fairly positive, and I'm afraid today's video might not be that way. Today I want to talk about something I like to call the seesaw effect, which is basically someone's always going to want to put you down. I've had, at different points in my life, people who are honestly just rude to me, and I don't know why, and I can't help it, and it's horrible, and I wish that none of us have to go through that. But I mean, almost everyone is treated that way at some point in their lives, and it's horrible. I mean, there's really no other word for it. For example, I was in PE class, and I'm not the strongest girl, I'm not the most athletic girl, but I tried. It's not like I just stood in the corner or whatever. I would still play the games. But, of course, the other girls, would say some mean things about me. And, I mean, it got to the point where eventually my mom and I had to tell my teacher. And I thought that would help, but it didn't. Because then they're like, oh, you have to get your parents and the teachers to help you. You can't even, fend for yourself. And, I mean, everyone's always told, oh, if you're being picked on, tell an adult. It'll help. Well, it doesn't always. I knew that those girls were putting me down because, they wanted to, feel like they were stronger and more athletic than I was, and that they could do things that I couldn't. And I like to call this the seesaw effect, or if you call them teeter-totters, the teeter-totter effect. The person who is up high on the teeter-totter, or seesaw, or whatever you want to call it, always feels, like that's the cool place to be when you're up high like that. Whereas the person on the bottom, well, you kind of hit the bottom and you sometimes you'll hit it hard and it kind of hurts. Just like when someone, says something like that to you or does something to you that hurts your feelings. Well, it hurts. But when you're balancing the seesaw and both people are on the same level, it's usually pretty cool. And, everyone's fairly happy about that, and you try and keep it there for a long time. That's honestly the best place you can possibly be, but it's hard when, someone's being mean to you, and, you don't want to go to their level, but you don't want to bring them, down so that they're a victim. You kind of need to find a balance where you're both happy, and a lot of times that's just kind of the, grin, bear it, ignore 'em thing, which it's honestly really hard. And the other thing is, as much as you may want to be rude back, don't be rude back, because, I mean, I just forgot what I was going to say. Because people who are, middle school, high school, I mean, people are just kind of sensitive at that point, because we're all just wondering who we are, and we don't know, in the big picture of the world, where we're going to fit in, and where we'll end up, and what's going to happen to us. And we're just kind of, trying to figure out where we fit in. And if you criticize someone, that's honestly taking away, all of that self-confidence they had, and you're just kind of throwing them to the outside, and they're not going to fit in anywhere. It's like cutting an edge off a puzzle piece, so now it doesn't fit anymore. And if, you're experiencing bullying or people are being rude to you and you feel like that, you just have to find the right puzzle. I know it sounds incredibly cliche, but it's kind of what you gotta do. I mean, if you're not fitting in somewhere, you have to find somewhere where you do, and where people do love you and do accept you, and they're not going to put you down like that, and they're not going to make you hit the bottom of that seesaw really hard. I mean, let's face it, has made your life miserable before, or someone is going to at some point, and, there are points in time where the best thing you can do is lie on your floor and cry about it. Because you can't change that other person. And, you can change yourself, but not, not like incredibly. You can be more confident, be slightly more assertive and say, hey, you need to stop. But, I mean, A, that's a difficult thing to do, and B, sometimes they'll make fun of you for doing that. And so, honestly, if you're going through a tough time right now, just, I don't know, just please try and get through it. And, find your puzzle and try and balance the seesaw and all of that. And know that, it's not always going to be this bad. I mean, there will come a time where you will feel absolutely amazing about yourself. And, that time may not be now, but you can make it now.